All right. What's going on? This is DJ Sammy Jay. You might know me from Itch FM, the Xposure show every Saturday, 8 till 10, where I rep for Real Raw UK music. So that is one of the reasons why I'm here. Well, the main reason here, interviewing SKANDOUZ, because he makes Real Raw UK music. He has got an album out on Christmas Day. So yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hello.
Cool. Hello.
How you doing?
Good, man. Feeling good. Excited. You know, it's been a labor of love getting this project together, man. It's taken a while, but I'm glad it's finally seeing the light of day. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
How long would you say it's been like in the making?
This album has been 10 years in the making.
Wow.
It started with just a tribute song to my auntie.
Yeah.
I always knew that I was eventually going to do a project around it. And I think literally it took, the being in a studio during a pandemic and thinking to myself, you know what, actually, I've got the time to get it done, you know, and I've got various tracks I've done during the years, which are, you know, shaping up to form an album. So that was it, man. Really just took off from there. And here we are, Christmas Day, about to drop it, you know. So really excited that it's finally there, man. It's I don't know, I've never personally experienced childbirth because I'm a father, but I mean it's kind of,
I wouldn't recommend it.
It feels like we've it's been cooked and we need to deliver it. We've got to push it out now and just, you know, let it see the world, man. So
definitely. Was there a reason you chose Christmas Day to put it out?
Well, my thing is, especially some people may notice this as well, with all my releases that I've ever released ever, you know, one key factor for me has always been, if it's coming out, it needs to come out on a significant day. So a lot of the times I've dropped projects on my birthdays, I've dropped projects on certain anniversaries. It's just something that's memorable. And this year it's like, you know what, Christmas Day is a Friday. Albums come out on Fridays. So, and it is the last Friday of the year, you know, and this album had to come out in 2020. So it's like, yeah, you know what, we got to make it Christmas Day, and that's what it is, you know. It's a special time of the year.
Makes a lot of sense. So if anyone wants to get this as a Christmas present, where is it available on Christmas Day?
It's everywhere digitally. You can Spotify it, you can iTunes it. If you want to buy it off of Bandcamp, it's on Bandcamp. I think in the new year, when the next single's ready to go, we'll do some like physicals if people are still into buying physicals, you know. But for now, it's just a digital release.
Okay. No, I'm really excited about it. I feel very privileged to have had a little listen. And well, where do I start? It's very personal. Yeah. Obviously, like that's really, I love that when someone does that with that album, because you really get a snapshot of their life and them as a person. And I think one of the things that stood out to me the most was probably when you talk on Anniversary, you talk about hip hop doesn't show enough long-term like successful relationships.
Yeah, I felt that was something that was important to me, man. When I got married, it's a strange thing. You kind of go into another world, you know, that you didn't realize even existed when you're just dating and stuff, you know. And it's just like, it's almost like a community of couples. Is you know, and then the more you dig deeper, you realize a lot of these artists that, you know, they're all married. You know, all these so-called players and stuff, they're in long-term marriages. You know, Snoop's been married like 30 years. You know, so it's just like, and it doesn't get celebrated enough, you know, in music, you know, because apparently it's not cool, but it's an accomplishment, marriage. So yeah,
definitely 100%. Like, and obviously it was nice to hear other artists talking about that as well. Like you got G-Bag and Black Twang on the track. And yeah, that was a big track. Like, they, to be honest, they all are. Like, I don't even know where to start, but you've got the freshers on there, obviously a lot of good features. You've got, Nino Sip is it singing as well? Like, how did you get people kind of recording for this? Was it done over a period of time?
Yeah, it was done over a lot of the features jumped in this year as well. I guess it comes as a bit of a mutual respect that's been built up over the years between artists, and some of just my personal friends. Black Twang, it's funny. I always tell the story of Black Twang. It's like, I still remember being a kid, just writing my first raps and listening to Black Twang's songs like on DJ 279 show and Choice FM, and recording them on cassette tapes, and just, he seemed so far away, and then, like, I don't know, 15 years later, we speak to each other on the phone and WhatsApp, and it's just like, what? It's like,
no, that feeling 100%. Like,
yeah, so it's it's a beautiful thing, man. And we did the Freshers did a nice tribute to Ty, Rodney P, and Twang, which you played on your show, called the Kingdom.
Absolutely.
And so I paid tribute to Twang, and obviously Twang wanted to do me a solid back, and jumped on the track. So it was nice.
No, it's a beautiful track. Like, stupid question, but I'm guessing your wife likes the album.
Yeah, any artist, and I probably speak for every artist that has a significant other, they're always, anyone that writes music, they always say like, oh, when are you going to write a song for me? When are you going to write a track for me? And so eventually, like, my wife can't complain now. She's got 3 songs on the album. Like,
I know, yeah.
I've been lucky in the past to get a 16 parts, but it's like, it's just like, yes, hopefully that'll, keep me in the good books for I don't know, a week.
Yeah. So we've got Anniversary that we talked about already. We've got Lady, and Nothing on My Missus.
Yeah.
Like that track as well. Very, very good. And it's good to be putting that message out there, because there's so much in music is kind of not about, settling down and having a significant other that you respect and stuff,
Yeah, and with Nothing on My Missus, it was kind of like, you get rappers that brag about their money and brag about their cars and brag about stuff they do in the streets. And I thought, let's make a song bragging about your marriage, bragging about your wedding ring. It's just like...
Yeah.
So,
the wedding ring is bling, definitely.
Yeah, man. So it's just kind of flipping it, really. And
I think that's that's something that really stood out to me. I like those tracks a lot because it's something really different, and it's it's portraying real life, and hip hop is about real life. People that don't know it well often think it's only about certain things, but I think anyone that's a real fan that knows that there is hip hop for anything, for any feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's just an expression of life, and you definitely do that with this album. So your wife likes it. That's always good. You're obviously talking about family. Your Auntie Nettie is kind of who the album is named after, dedicated to, a tribute to. Tell me a little bit more about her, because she obviously made a big impression on you.
Yeah, so like I said, and it's quite emotional actually to have her actual voice on the album as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when my family heard it's they're gonna lose their mind a bit, because it's like no one's heard her voice since 2009. So yeah, to me she was a legend, and it's one of those things when people pass, when artists pass, we look back and be like, yeah, that was a legendary artist, but sometimes you just have legendary fans. She's a real, like, dedicated follower. She was at Glastonbury, she was at all the big shows, all the big bands knew her, like Coldplay knew her personally, like a lot of these, Kasabian knew her, a lot of these big bands that were like emerging at the time knew her personally, and that's why they paid tribute to her and dedicated shows to her, and made like personal they sent flowers to the family house when she passed away.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of those things, I just didn't want to, I wanted to tell her story, and her passion for music was just like amazing. Like, even though she wasn't an artist, but she played the bass, she just, she was just there, and she knew what classic music was. And a lot of my early taste in music was listening to her play, because she used to play piano, she used to play flute, she used to play so many different instruments. And obviously, as I grew up and got into music, she'd come to my shows a lot, and she really pushed and really encouraged and supported me. So for me, this project is kind of me paying it back. You know, it's a very eclectic album, and it's that way by design, because she had such a wide range of taste, you know, and it showed, and that's what I was trying to portray in this project as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely you've got the family based tracks, you've got kind of head nod tracks. I mean, there's even one called Head Nod, right? But yeah, it's, you know, it's, you've got Work and Play as well. That's kind of different. They're all kind of on a different vibe. Obviously we've got the freshers on there. Got to shout out Archer and Dre. Yeah, you've been, you know, I know you've been busy kind of supporting other people's projects as well. So it's, you know, it's time for this one.
Yeah, and that's another thing, you know, I kind of got a bit nervous with this project, you know. I mean, and it's not the first project I've ever put out. Like, Freshers have done a bunch of stuff, but it's and I've interviewed a bunch of artists, but this is like the first time where the spotlight's just on me. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm used to, can't hide behind Archer and Dre anymore. It's just, okay, I'm front and center now. So I've kind of got to carry the baton until the next project comes. So it's like, yeah, in a strange way, it's a new experience for me. And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to embrace it, you know. And yeah, it's good that as a group we can come together and create great music, but then individually we can still create great music. And you've heard that from Dre this year, you've heard that from Archer this year, you know. So it's been a cool ride.
I mean, you guys are a really good example of, you work together well, but you work separately, and you all support each other so much. Like I see that. I see you guys on social media supporting each other, and yeah, it's a good kind of family environment as well.
Yeah, you know, it's important. It's so important, man. And especially in this business, you know, it's very easy to be like, oh, go gun ho for yourself, but really and truly, we're a scene. You know, and that's why it's important. I find it really important. I support everybody without prejudice. You know, it's just, if it's dope, we'll back it. And I know you do that as well. You know, and it's just,
100%.
you know, because we got to look at the bigger picture, man. We like, if the tide comes up, all the boats come up. So, you know, it's just, that's why I've got like 15 features on my album, because it's just, we support each other. It's a community, you know. So yeah, it's a cool thing.
There's a lot of support, and just a really good kind of atmosphere of family around the freshers. And, you know, being a family person kind of comes out in your music and your connections as well, you know, rather than, you know, not just because you do it in your life, you know, it's beyond just your own family. You're making family in the music scene as well. Like, you've always made me feel like family, you know. We've known each other a long time, interviewed you before in very different circumstances, you know, on the show. It's kind of weird doing this from my living room and not in a studio, but yeah, you know, you make it all just cool and family, isn't it? So that's really good.
And to be honest with you, it's a sign of 2020, man. We you know, we're all coming together via Zoom or whatever, but we're still trying to make it happen. You know, it's a different way of putting music out. You know, and obviously in past projects, you put your project out and then you go and do a launch party and you go and do some shows, and we can't really do that. So we have to figure out new ways, and more interviews, you know, more videos or more merch, you know, just to generate, you know, a vibe for when your project releases.
Definitely. I mean, if there is a delayed launch party, I am there.
Yeah, definitely.
Really need some live music. Like, I'm going crazy now.
You know, I'm worried, you know, because I think when we get the green light to do shows again, there's going to be like an explosion, like, you know, because everybody's itching to get back on stage, man. You know, we did a gig the other week that's going to come out on Christmas Eve, I think. Freshers did an exclusive show, and yeah, it's just the experience. That was like the first time on stage in 2020, and I was like, early December, I was like, what's going on? But it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we need to find, like, if it's not going away anytime soon, we really need to find another way. Like, I think if people can sit on a plane and you know, be reasonably close in a supermarket or something, there must be a way to make gigs happen, right?
Yeah, it's quite a sucker punch to the industry, man, because it affects so many people's livelihoods. You know, so many people, affects people's, you know, mental health. You know, or everything. You know, there's people that really don't know what to do with themselves because that's all they lived for, was the live music scene.
Yeah,
And
no, 100%. And like, to hear it as well, like, by the government and stuff, not necessarily being respected as a proper profession and stuff as well, is, you know, really doing it an injustice, because it actually makes a lot of money for the country. And you know, it's a big thing.
yeah,
The live music scene, and just going out in general, that is a big industry,
yeah.
and
Mm.
it's just been completely taken away.
Mm. But you know,
But
as artists, we got to keep creating. You know, we can't just go.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. And like, no, you guys have been getting me through this, because you know, I'm doing this with you now, and I've been doing live, you know, live things with Dre, and you know, that's definitely you guys. You lot are very much innovators when it comes to kind of using digital platforms and social media and stuff to still be doing something. And you know, I'm really happy to be involved.
Awesome, awesome, wicked.
So another big thing that's kind of come up in 2020 is obviously the whole issue of police brutality. Racism has obviously always been there for, unfortunately, a very long time, but it's really come to light this year.
Hmm.
You address that in your track Boyega as well.
Hmm.
Tell me a little bit more about that one. Why did you want to put that on a track?
It was just that speech that he made really hit a lot of people, man. You know, and he put his neck on the line, you know, because he's a big
Mm.
Hollywood celebrity. He didn't have to do that, you know.
No.
And a lot of those guys, you know, especially in times of great turmoil, right? Yeah, they tend to go in their little holes, and you know, they don't want to jeopardize their careers. But you could tell he was just about the people at that moment, you know, and
Yeah.
trying to make change in the world. You know, you see people like Lewis Hamilton, just every single race, Black Lives Matters on the, you know, that's the most important thing for him, you know, and it really does matter, you know. Like I said, the hip hop is supposed to reflect the people, and
Mm.
you know, and good or bad. And you know, rather than sell somebody like a fantasy life, you know, trying to be like Rick Ross on a yacht, well, let's just tell them the truth, man. Let's, you know, let's give them what's really happening, what we're really dealing with. And that was the importance of that song, you know. And I'm very excited because that's going to be the next single, and we've got
Oh
very
wow.
big plans for the video. So so yeah, so look out for that at the end of January. But yeah, it needed to be said, and definitely needed to address it on the track.
No, definitely. Like, that's, like you said, that's what hip hop is about. And also, if more people just listen, do you know what I mean? Listen to music, listen to people talk about their experience, because there's a lot of people out there saying, oh no, that's not going on, you know, just because it's not their life and their experience. And the way it looks to me is just, surely it makes sense to listen to the people that are actually experiencing this and say, okay, wow, that happened, we need to do something about that, not kind of deny that it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, just more people need to listen to hip hop, or good hip hop, and people talking about this, like, definitely.
Real talk. Definitely, definitely. And hip hop, more than any other genre of music on this planet, addresses, you know, the social human experience, man, you know, more accurately than anything else. So that's why I'm so proud to be a part of the hip hop culture, you know, because, you know, we lead the world in that respect, you know? So,
Definitely. And that's what always drew me to it as well, that it was just talking about, you know, addressing real issues. And it gets more words in. If you're rapping, you're just getting more words in to express yourself. And yeah, it just frustrates me that people don't listen. Like, there's people out there saying their opinions, and they're just not listening to the people that it's actually affecting.
yeah, yeah.
That's the frustrating thing about all this.
Yeah. but there's a famous Public Enemy album title, you know, and kind of summarizes this year really. You know, it's called Man Plans and God Laughs. So really and truly, you know, you can plan and have any sort of opinion, but ultimately, if God shuts the world down, then you got to listen, you know. So, so that's kind of the reality of our situation this year, you know.
And it's hard for a generation that hasn't been through anything like this, that, you know, maybe older people that have been through the war and things like that have handled it differently in some senses. But I think a lot of our generation just feel a little bit outraged. Like, this isn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to be going out tomorrow, you know.
Yeah.
And it's hard because, you know, we're privileged that we have been used to that, you know, in a country like ours. You know, we're not used to kind of major disruptions to our life like this.
Yeah, and the thing is, I see it all around me, like people losing their minds and that, and you know, and then my 80-year-old grandma, she's just cool. Because she knows, you know, she's chill, and everybody else, all the younger people, are just losing their minds. But I think we're starting to calm down a bit now, you know, start to roll with the punches.
Yeah, I'm just hanging on to hope of some live music next year. Gotta make it happen because I'm really missing it. You know, I love seeing you guys live. I miss the chip shop. You know, I'm just like really want to just be in a sweaty crowd of people moshing some decent hip hop or something. You know.
It's probably going to be more of a sanitized crowd next time, but yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's the one good thing that will come out of all this. People will just get generally cleaner. I don't know. But no, I miss it big time. But you seem pretty level-headed. You seem like you're handling it quite well.
It's just a mentality I've always had, really, you know. And from young, it's like you never get too high when you're high, never get too low when you're low. Try and always keep it high level, you know. Life has its natural ups and downs, you know, so that's why you can't, you know, just have to just
Yeah.
keep a positive attitude and just roll with it, man.
Would you like a job as my therapist? I need one. I either need one or I need a night out.
Oh man.
Well, I'm definitely gonna enjoy chilling and listening to your album on Christmas Day. What are your plans? Family?
Yeah, definitely family, and yeah, definitely listening to more of your sets. Loving the fact that you've been playing Kentish Town during your sets as
Oh,
well.
love that track.
So yeah, you know.
So is that your ends? Is that where you're from?
Yeah, Kentish Town like is been the manor
Yeah.
from as long as I can remember. You know, and it was one of those things, we needed an anthem. We never had one, you know, so it's like, yeah, so it's like, if you don't have it, make it. And that's kind of what we did. I linked up with some other artists from the area and the producers from the area, so it's actually authentically Kentish Town, that track.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, we've got some big shots of the massive Kentish Town mural, so we just tried to make something classic, you know. And the Kentish Town and newspaper jumped on it and said it was, yeah, one of the 8 best records that's ever been made about the area. So I was
wow.
like, yeah, so you know, that's pretty cool imaginary plaque to have, you know. So yeah, man, so it's doing bits, man, and people who are not from Kentish Town relate to it as well, because it makes them feel like their own area. So,
I mean, I'm by no means from there, but I've got a lot of ties to there musically and stuff, like through Itch and that. So, you know, I always really liked the track from the first time I heard it. I'm definitely going to be rinsing that well into next year, well, and forever onwards, because I like bringing tracks back as well and playing.
yeah,
You know, it's not just about the old school tracks or the brand new tracks. You got to play those kind of middle ones that haven't quite become classics yet as well. So like, I don't see myself ever not playing that, and it's just an absolutely sick album. What about production? I wanted to ask you about that, because there's some really talented production on that.
yeah, there'll be some names that might even surprise you, you know. A lot of people didn't expect to see Illmind on production, you know, but that Illmind track has been one I've been sitting on, you know, couldn't wait to release it. Obviously production from inside the camp, like DJ Tomfoolery Beats,
Tom.
regular collaborators are on the album. Yeah, there's a few tracks produced by me on the project as well. So
Oh, tell me which ones? Which ones?
so I've got my hands in a lot of the Buju interludes, Nettie reprise is produced by me, and I had my hand in a lot of the other tracks as well. Sorry, I've just got to get the list up actually myself. Remind myself. What tracks did I have my hand in? Definitely Hip Hop World was a track I more or less conducted myself, and
Wow.
and Nettie, the title track, is a track that I worked on as well. So yeah.
Wow, you've been busy.
You know, that's just my that's the way I've been, especially with a lot of the freshers projects as well. I've exec those projects and definitely get very hands-on in terms of sequencing and putting those projects together. So it's definitely something that I'm trying to perfect as well. So yeah.
Definitely. So at what point did you start getting more involved in production in general?
Production is something I've always kind of done like in the background, but I've left it more to like the experts, really, like the archers and that, you know, and just kind of just kept it on the back burner. It's something I can do, but it's something I want to try and be known more for my pen, so I focus more on the writing aspect. But it's there, you know. So so I've still got some beats in the stash just in case, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a skill to have though. Like I've been, interviewing some producers in the last year or two, and everyone works kind of differently as well. But the one thing is you have to be really patient, I think.
Yeah, indeed. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I kind of fall in the role with the more exec side of things now. So like projects like the Black Playlist as well, which I forgot to mention, and some of the Earth to Tom stuff, I'm kind of in the background when those projects get formulated as well. So yeah.
You're just the general CEO kind of guy. Likes to oversee everything.
Yeah, someone's got to do
it. Head of the family.
Someone's got to be the first neck on the chopping block when someone's upset, you know. So it's like, yeah, you know, it definitely has its ups and downs, man. But it's a lot of fun, and you know, it's part of a greater mission, man. We've got a lot of amazing projects that are still to come. There's still a Freshers album that's come in. There's still an Archer album that's coming.
Yes, please.
Great album that's coming. So there's a lot to look forward to next year as well, man. So you know, but yeah, at the moment we're just doing the Nettie run.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. And like, obviously, I will be waiting by my inbox for future projects. 100% want to be supporting, and yeah, like you guys are killing it. Keep doing what you're doing, and keep us going for all this madness, because like music is pretty much what's keeping me sane right now. So
yeah, man, all of us. So yeah, definitely we're going to keep you updated with all the exclusives as always, you know, and definitely want to thank you for your continued support. You know, you're definitely a shining light for us in the scene.
oh.
So yes, we will definitely continue to hit you up with all the singles and all the exclusives, you know.
No, it's a privilege to kind of have that position, like I love getting the exclusives. It really, makes me smile to have a first play on something, and I just love having the platform to get, what's really going on there in the UK underground out there.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's such a varied scene, and there is so much, I can't even keep on top of everything, and I do this, like there's so much. I have a 2-hour show, I run out of time to play all the tracks I want to play, and all I play is UK. And it's just crazy. So good crazy, because there's a lot of talent out there.
Awesome sounds dope.
Well, I'm trying to keep it dope. I'm trying to keep people entertained in all this madness, but a lot more people in on a Saturday night to listen to my show. So
yeah, that's numbers must be great, man. You know, but yeah, and let's hope we get some more of these interviews as well, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new kind of thing for me. I'm used to being in a studio, not in my living room. Thankfully, my kids have been reasonably well behaved. I think they're both still alive, haven't eaten each other yet. So it's it's cool, but this is how we roll now, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, I've seen plenty of interviews, you know, experts on the TV and stuff, and suddenly like their kid runs in and attacks them or something, or, you know, is brandishing some random piece of food or something, you know, and it's hilarious. Like, have you seen any of them on like the news and stuff?
Yeah, I've seen people
Yeah.
running around in their undies and all sorts, you know. Yeah, and I experience it myself. I can hear my kids like literally running up and down the stairs as I speak, like, you know, just thinking, oh God, someone's gonna burst through the door screaming in a minute. But
But no, we've gone without incident so far, pretty much. So that's really good. What do they think of your music? Your kids? Do they get the whole kind of daddy's a rapper kind of thing?
yeah, I mean, fortunately this year I've managed to release my first book. So Daddy's an author now. You know, my son read my book and you know, it was cheeky because they was doing a project on local authors, so he decided to use me. But you know, it's just getting into that groove, man. And for me, it's important for me. I don't put no profanity or expletives in my music, and with the purpose of that I can play my music around my kids, you know. And it's funny because I asked some of the people that got a preview of the album, I said to them, "Did you notice that there's no swearing in the whole project?" And they were like, "No, it just glided, you know."
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't told me, you know, and that's a good thing. It doesn't, you know, it sounds great. Kid-friendly music that's, you know, talking about.
well, I subscribe to like the school of KRS, man. It's just like, yeah, just punch you in the head, but like, you know, just not like over aggressively, just like hard enough so you know, it's not soft, but it's
knowledge as well. Like, I definitely think kids should be encouraged to, you know, listen to hip hop and stuff because it's knowledge, and often it's said in a way to them that's more accessible than a book sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, not everyone is as into kind of reading and stuff as others. You know, it's quite a personal thing, and if you can get that knowledge through music, then that's a really good thing.
Yeah, and that's always been the plan. You know, we like to have fun and entertain people, but also we got to hit you with some knowledge. You know, if a project can't come out unless we're trying to, you know, doing something to highlight an important cause or, you know, just enlighten the people that listen to the music. That's definitely like rule number one, man, for us. So, yeah.
And you can do both. You can do both 100%. Like, that is what hip hop is all about. It's about life.
Yeah.
You know, partying is life. Not so much at the moment, but, you know, other things, struggle is life as well. Everyday things are life. So, you know, you've got to talk about those things.
Yeah, real talk, 100%, man. Awesome.
Definitely. And so next year, tell me something positive. Tell me something to cheer me up for 2021.
In terms of what, from us or just in general?
Both.
I think, you know what, I think next year, just a general positive thing. I think people are kind of, you know, they've been through the worst, I think, in terms of this virus, and we're finding more, you know, creative ways to, you know, stay sane. So yeah, so my job as an artist as well, you know, is just to find ways to express myself creatively and, you know, share that creativity with the world and hopefully touch some people that listen to the project and inspire some people, you know, because I've had close friends that passed away, you know, and it's been a very hard year, but it was really important for me to try and end it with some positivity, you know, finish the project, finish the book, get it out there, you know, just to say that when I look back at 2020, it's not all doom and gloom. You know, we accomplished some things, we got it out there and we spreaded some love and some positivity, and that's the most important thing. So yeah.
No, you're definitely doing that. I mean, and it's got to be said always, rest in peace to Ty especially, and, you know, everyone that has passed away this year, and everyone that's, you know, that's missing someone. It has been absolute madness, but can only hope for things to get better, and music will always be there.
Yeah. And you know, speaking of Ty, a very close personal friend of mine, you know, we dedicated the book to him. I put out a single that was a tribute to him.
Letter to My Big Bro.
Yep. His voice, if you listen carefully, his voice is on the intro to the album, and
Mm.
there's definitely a shout out to him on the album as well. You know, that was so important to have him actually on the album. And yeah, it was just, you know, he was such an incredible artist, and it's sad that people didn't realize how incredible he was until he passed away, you know. But unfortunately, he left us like 5 classic albums, man, for us to, you know, dive
Yeah,
into and really.
that's very true. I mean, I really thought a lot of you guys as well, because I knew the freshers knew him very well personally. You know, I've only met him a few. Obviously, I've grown up with his music, big fan, but I've only met him like a couple of times, and he was kind of one of these people that was on my big list of dream interviews or something. And you know, if it hit me, I can only imagine how hard it hit you who knew him personally.
Yeah. I think the thing, all you can do, you know, obviously you share your experience with the people, you know, which I did. I wrote him a long letter, and, you know, put my heart out, man. Did the song, you know, and a lot of people gravitated to it. A lot of DJs played it, you know.
Beautiful track. Like, I will always be, you know, always be playing that. Ty will not be forgotten. I will always be playing him, and I will always be playing your song for him.
Yeah, so, you know, so it's important. And again, with that song, it was important to have his voice on it as well, you know. And it just came from a real authentic place, and that kind of summarizes what we always try and do with the music, you know. It's always, whatever we do, it's always going to come from a real authentic place. So yeah,
Definitely. I mean, you guys, you really do something that a little bit different, with the dressing up for hip hop as well, just kind of showing that, you know, you can do things different. Hip hop isn't just one thing.
yeah. Yeah, and that's an important movement as well, because it was like, you know, when we first started out, we used to only do shows in suits, you know, because it was like, okay, we can't be doing t-shirts and baggy jeans forever, you know. Let's diversify a bit, man. Let's, you know, freshers were like originally modeled on the Rat Pack, so you had like your Sammy Davis, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and those guys always did shows in suits, and they had, you know, a glass of whiskey, and, you know, it's just
Yeah.
class. It was classic, and that's kind of the vibe we was going for, man. So yeah.
Oh, gotta love the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
My grandma used to love the Rat Pack. So, you know, very much grew up on their music. I can see the likeness. They got the suave thing going on. So like, no, seriously, big up yourself and all the freshers. Because so Archer and Dre, they've definitely been contributing to keeping me sane. You know, sending me music, doing the live sets as well. So yeah, massive shout outs, and so excited about your album. Like, it's, you know, really something to look forward to. I can't wait for more people to hear it. I bet you can't wait either. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be, you know, that's definitely something to look forward to, man. And we're gonna go so hard. We're gonna push it so hard, you know. And yeah, just get it out there to the world, you know. Tell them they need to hear this album. It's essential. There's something on there for everybody, you know. Old hip hop heads, young hip hop heads, you know. It's a wide range, and people that might not even be into hip hop, they're just like hear something dope. So yeah, man, there's a little bit of everything on there for you. So yeah, awesome.
Definitely. So what we need to make sure everybody knows is go and get this album. It is out now, Christmas Day. Get hold of it, all the usual digital platforms, and yeah, get yourself some positivity for this year and next year, and just something beautiful.
Awesome.
Really is.
Thank you. Definitely. Please do. And thanks for your support and everything. Yeah.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. You know, I just feel really honored to be in a position to do this and just be involved in such a beautiful music scene, you know.
Definitely. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for, you know, taking time out to just jam and, you know, talk about this project with me. And thank you for supporting it. And yeah, you know, let's continue to elevate, you know, in all ways, shape and form, man. And just, you know, push things forward and celebrate this culture that we love, which is hip hop.
100%. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and all that stuff.
Merry Christmas.
Let's hope it can be a much better, you know, one, and you know, well done for just getting something productive done with this year. And you know, I'm glad you achieved getting this album out in 2020, and the book as well. I'm going to need to read that, definitely.
I'll get a copy out to you, actually.
Oh yes,
When,
please.
when Amazon sort out their delivery situation, I will be sending you a signed copy of that book. So,
Oh wow.
you know,
Thank you.
we're just waiting for some more copies to come in. But yeah, definitely 100%. Yeah.